All right, awesome. Can y'all see my screen? Everything good?
Yes.
Yep.
Excellent. Sounds good. So today I want to talk about something that's really important. I've been noticing that in this challenging market, the agents that are not only doing well but thriving in the market are the ones that have a great identity, the ones that have a great brand, the ones that have a great reputation. I feel like there are so many agents that disappear into the crowd. Nobody really hears from them. Nobody really knows what they do, and a lot of people don't even know that they exist. Let's be honest. We're trying to make a name for ourselves. We want to get out there and we want to be easily identifiable and easily reachable. But if people can't identify who we are, they don't know what our message is and they don't know what our identity is, we're really just kind of shooting ourselves in the foot. We have to brand ourselves. Our brand is everything. People cannot take away your personal brand. So we're going to talk about that today on how to brand yourself. I love this topic. I've given talks on this topic before, and I found these images. I found this slide deck, and I thought it was really, really strong for a quick 10,000 foot view on how to brand yourself. So, when I'm talking about your identity, here's the truth about it. Every time you post, every time you speak, and every time you don't say anything, you're leaving a fingerprint. So everything that you do is a reflection of yourself and a reflection of your brand. So we see this all the time. Sometimes we see posts from professionals, sales professionals, business professionals, whatever the case is. Sometimes you have to ask, is that in line with their personal brand? Is that in line with the message that they're trying to get out there about themselves and their brand? Because your brand isn't just your business identity, it's your everything identity. And we're going to talk about the importance of that because what your brand really is the emotion that you evoke when people say your name. When people say your name, what do they think? Because your brand is not your logo, it's the room that people enter when they hear your name. So think of a mental room. When they say Josie Reese, when they say Horacio Gumbel, when they say Gumbel Realty Group, when they say Property Hermanos Group, when they say EXP Realty, what do people think when they hear those names, when they hear those brands? It's not just your logo. People get that confused. Oh, my brand is my logo. My brand is this. Your brand is what people think when they see that logo, when they hear that name. So just imagine that imaginary room that I'm talking about in your mind. When strangers walk into that room, what do they see? What do they feel? Do they feel confidence? Do they feel authority? Do they feel comfort? Do they feel ease? Do they feel familiarity? What do they feel? That's what your brand is really all about. And here's the good part, we can design that room however we want. Because if we don't design it, they're going to decorate it for you. They're going to put their own spin on it. Well, I really don't know, but maybe Alan is about this. Maybe Josie is about this. They're going to assume, and then they're going to look at your inconsistencies. If you don't define your brand, don't let somebody do that for you. We talk about that all the time. We were watching the fights. I'm sure y'all watched the fights this weekend. There were some UFC fights. There was the Canelo fight. And what do they always say? Don't leave it up to the judges. If you're going to have a victory, make it a decisive victory. Because if you don't make it decisive, you leave it up to them. So branding yourself means locking in that room. Make that room whatever you want it to be. Good morning, Daniel. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. Sorry, I had some tech problems in here.
No problem. No problem. We're in our branding training here. So we're talking about branding yourself. What does it mean? Design every corner of that room, control the way it smells, control the sound, control the feeling. I can't even tell you. I was showing some new construction this past week, and the houses that stood out were the ones that smelled good. How important is smell in real estate? It's
Yeah.
ultra important. So think about your brand. When people are walking into that imaginary room in their mind, what do they think about? Do they think about a fresh scent? Do they think about a rotten scent? Do they think about, oh, we all know those people where you say their name and you just cringe a little bit. Maybe they have a bad scent in their room that they've created for everybody else. So think about how you want people to think about you, how you want your room, which is your brand, to be portrayed. You choose the colors, you decide the story, and you decide what they remember. So this is what I love about branding is it's so much deeper than people think. Everyone thinks when you see that Nike swoosh, what do you think about? What does the swoosh mean to you? The swoosh to me means athletic quality. It means professionalism. It means elite athletics. You know, when we see the Rolex logo, when we see the Bugatti logo. Now, what do you think when you see the Ollie's logo? When you see the Big Lots logo? What do you think when you see a Neiman Marcus logo? Think about uh, even rolling through these brand names that I'm just mentioning right now. I get feelings about these places. I can see what a Neiman Marcus looks like. I can see what a Saks Fifth Avenue looks like and what it smells like. Y'all remember walking in to the Abercrombie store back in the 90s, in the 2000s? It smelled amazing and it was
Yeah.
dark and it was moody and the lighting was perfect.
Or
I
the
haven't been in
Hol
an Abercrombie store in I don't know how long.
or the Hollisters of
The
the world.
Hollister store, the music was blasting. They had subwoofers everywhere. You felt like you were in an upscale preppy nightclub or something of the sort. I could remember everything about it.
We couldn't see shit, but we could smell
That's
something and we
right. You
wanted to
could,
be a part of it.
yeah, I couldn't see the clothes, you know, because it was
We
dark,
couldn't
but
see anything.
I thought the clothes were even cooler because I couldn't really see them. You know, it just had a little spotlight. But anyway, choose the colors, decide what you want your story to be about. Because your brand isn't what you say, it's what people feel when you're not around. You know, what do people talk about? They always say your friends are the ones that talk about you in a positive light when you're not around. If people are talking about you in a negative light when you're not around, they're really not your friends. But your brand echoes those sentiments, it echoes those thoughts, what you're putting out there. How are you showcasing your professionalism, your logos, your colors? What music are you putting behind your videos? You know, are you putting out low quality, high quality material? What is your stance? What is your brand? So here's a real question. What do you want that room in your mind, in that room in everyone else's mind? What do you want it to say when you're not there to speak? That's what your brand does for you. So, with that being said, that's the training that I have about your brand. Really think about it. Ask yourself the questions. What do you want to portray? What do you want others to think about you? And when you answer those questions for yourself, you'll really be able to dictate what you want your brand to be.